I think I'm on. Am I on? Hello. Is there anybody out there? I was just whistling Life is a Roller Coaster by Ronan Keating. Anyone remember that tune? That was quite catchy. Not that I want to admit, punch on for Boyzone or anything. But, yeah. I quite like that tune. That's one of my guilty pleasure tunes on my MP3 player. MP3 player. My phone. Fucking hell, I'm showing my age there out of my MP3 player. I like to listen to that on my MP3 player. That is the equivalent of saying vinyl, isn't it? 25 years ago. Yep, Snugpack strikes again. Damn straight. It's fucking Baltic today. I went out and it was nice and sunny, and then I got back to my house. Thought I don't need the heating on. Turn everything off. It's sunny. Now I'm freezing my tits off. I just sat here for half an hour and I'm like, oh, my hands are cold. I'm showing my age, Anna. I'm getting on. I'll soon flop into my grave, everyone. Anyway, I'll say hello. Who's in? All the natives. Kate, Tracy, Al Bundy, Hazmat, the Fall Guy, Sadwings. Hello, Sadwings. Nice to see there's a few still tuning in from across the pond. Zardoz, Gav, Dominic, Jeff, Carl, David, the Fall Guy, Glenn, the Miffed Matlow. Aren't all Matlows miffed? I think so. This is England, and this is England, and this is England. Rathchild, Russell, Prof. Andy, Tracy, who've I missed? Davy Boy, Mark Devine, Russell Smith, Charles Belton, my argumentative friend, Terry Wookfit, the Fall Guy, Plave Marine 51 North, and Paul. Hello to everybody. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. You should be thanking me. It's always gripping stuff, isn't it? Look, for starters, I've got this nice picture of Boris Johnson's younger brother. I'm kidding, of course. It's not Boris Johnson's younger brother. It's Baroness Shirley Williams. I don't like Shirley Williams at all. In fact, I might be wrong, but Shirley Williams might be the one who defended radical... I don't want to use the words. Can't use the M word. Can't use the I word. What about very, 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 very devout scholars? What was it called? The guy in the fucking newspapers in the States? It was like austere scholar. Yeah. My cough's back. I told you. I definitely think I've got long COVID. But long COVID doesn't make me have a brain fog and not want to go to work. It basically means every now and then I cough my fucking guts up for no reason. I think that's what I've got. Long cough your guts up for no reason, but you don't get a month off work or 6 months off work if you get long cough your guts up. So, yeah, 137 people here, and it just started. It's because they know this is where you come for thrilling, factually accurate, foul-mouthed news tirades. The likes of which, as far as I'm aware, there are no competitors. I'm the only one. Is there anyone who does basically reads the news and swears a lot? I don't think so. All the big channels on YouTube, nobody does this. This is a exclusive channel. Probably because they all get banned, eh? Is it because everyone gets banned? Maybe. You really have to watch what you say. You can't make anything. Oh, God. Alan Lloyd, jealous Welshman. At least you can go for a pint. Fuck me. Yes, we can. The pubs today in Nottingham were absolutely toppers. I've never seen so many chocker boozers. Oh, yeah, it was Paz. Yeah, so I am thinking of the right person. Shirley Williams is the one. See, you can see me and Paz are of a similar mindset. We've obviously watched the same videos. Shirley Williams, it was then. Shirley Williams was on Question Time with Christopher Hitchens, and he was saying Shirley Williams is a fucking disgrace because she was basically sticking up for radical, austere scholars who thought it was perfectly acceptable to scatter Salman Rushdie across a fucking field in 50 pieces just because he wrote a book they didn't like. That was Baroness Shirley Williams. So Baroness Shirley Williams is, unlike Prince Philip, is not worth your time or effort. And she looks like Boris Johnson's younger brother. So, don't care. Now, it would be crass for me to glorify in the death of Boris Johnson's Shirley Williams, so I'm not going to do that. But all I will say is I'm not going to be hypocritical and pretend that I care. Frankly, she did more harm than good, but you can't lay that against the door because basically that's probably 90% of our politicians now. I mean, do you think Cameron did more harm than good? This is coming from a fucking Conservative voter. Do you think Cameron did more harm than good? Yeah. What about John Major? John fucking Major. In fact, I think I'd rather go to Baroness Shirley Williams' funeral than John Major's, the little shit that he is. So yeah. Condolences to Boris Johnson's brother's family. It is a shame. It's a shame when anyone dies, but, well, like I said yesterday about Prince Philip, I'm not going to get upset when old people die. To me, it's a fucking tragedy when, like, anyone under the age of about 50 dies. And after that, you all got more gas in the tank than you probably expected. I'm sure Prince Philip's going to get 40 years more than I will, so let's not beat around the bush and worry about him anymore. I've done my condolences. Let's move on. But Baroness Shirley, I won't be raising a glass to her. I think she was, what would you say? Trying to think of a polite way of putting it. She was an ignorant twat. She was an ignorant twat. She talked about things she had no knowledge of, no real understanding of, and yet she still felt she could gob off. Matt, any advice for long COVID? I like to do two things that have really helped with my cough. What I do is I binge drink most weekends, and then I wait until I'm sober, and on a Monday or a Tuesday I go for a very long run, as fast as I possibly can until I go about the same colour as the BBC homepage. Bright red, maroon, and then I'm coughing my guts up, and then suddenly, about an hour later, it just vanishes. So that's my advice. Binge drink and do a lot of exercise. There's my... you can see, I'm not called the Angry Doctor, by the way. If you want medical advice, go and find the Angry Doctor's channel. Any medical advice I give you is definitely tongue-in-cheek. Not the healthiest man in the world, am I? Don't sound it anyway. Sadwings, last great PM was a true hard case, and she was truly great. Great. Amen to that. Margaret Thatcher, best Prime Minister we've ever had, and I'm including all of them. I even put her above Churchill, personally. I think Churchill was a better speaker, but I don't think he had the same libertarian sensibilities that Margaret Thatcher did. I feel as if Churchill had a lot of shortcomings. He was a pisshead as well, right? I mean, you can't say you probably worked as hard if you were shit-faced all the time. What else do I want to talk about? In fact, let's get Shirley off. I'm sick of looking at her. Sick of looking at you, Shirley. You were no use to me when you were alive. You will prove no use to me now you have shuffled off the mortal coil. What did I want to look at tonight? There wasn't that many interesting stories that I haven't covered, not via BBC Spews and the live streams and that I've done. I did think this was a funny one. Union fears over call centre firm's home webcam plan. Haven't we all established by now that Scotland isn't a free country anymore? Like, Britain isn't a free country. But of all of the four nations that comprise the British Isles and Ireland, the least free among them is Scotland. Kevin, I did read about YouTube stashing all the dislikes. They are shocking, aren't they? They are shocking. They're lying bastards. No, Pedro, you haven't missed much. I've just been talking, waffling, to be honest. But that's the beauty of YouTube. You can go back and watch it as you see fit. You can put it on 1.5 times speed and have even more difficulty understanding me. Probably not recommended unless you're a drunk from Middlesbrough. Then you can probably understand me at any speed. It's kicking off again in America. I did hear that. It's going to kick off in America. If you love Thatcher, you don't know enough about her. That's a good one. I think I do know quite a lot about Thatcher. I've been interested in Thatcher's storied career for a long time. I've read numerous books about her, biographies. I even went to a funeral just to annoy the cunts that I used to work with. Took 3 days off work and went to a funeral. So I think I know quite a lot about Thatcher. I think Thatcher sold a lot of shit because she had to and we had no money. If you go to the fucking National Rail Museum in York and read some of the placards in there, they'll tell you exactly what type of state we were in when Margaret Thatcher took over. Lefties make out as if Margaret Thatcher just despised miners or despised working class people. And it's like, she was working class and she had her hands forced because we were an economic joke. We had less money than a pissed sailor in Vegas and we had no options. I really don't understand why they make her out to be a demon. Now, if you're going to say biased books, fair enough. I suppose every writer's biased in their own way. Thatcher fucked some things up and she got some things wrong, but her art was in the right place. She was a free market libertarian who got us out of crippling debt by whatever means she could. I'm sure with hindsight you can say she did things wrong. Give me some good examples and I'm sure I'll meet you halfway there. I'm not an ideologue. But maybe another reason why we like Scargill was a full-blown communist, so there's another reason to like Thatcher. The milk snatcher was, feed your own fucking kids. How about that? How about that for a controversial... I mean, I'm a working class man from one of the shittest towns in the UK. Feed your own kids. How about that? How about if you have the fucking wherewithal to part your whiskers for any bastard on a whim, feed your own kids. I don't see why I have to be worrying about your ugly, fucked up children. The milk snatcher one really doesn't concern me. It's like, we've got no money, we need to cut costs, and I'm paying for other working class scum's children. It would have pissed my dad off. My dad was only a welder. I'm pretty sure my dad didn't want to be feeding every fat chav's children. Do it yourself. Do it yourself. Every single person in a council house I know drinks cans, smokes fags, scratches scratch cards. Feed your own fucking kids. Don't tell me you can't afford milk. Don't tell me you can't afford your own milk. Let me in the front room of anyone who tells me they can't afford their own milk. And I will show you a flat screen TV, a fucking Xbox, and a recycling bin full of special brew. So feed your own kids, buy your own milk. I'm a working class bloke, and if I took over when I was in Thatcher's shoes, they wouldn't have called me Matty the milk snatcher. They'd have called me Matty the fucking milk pencil case, packed lunch, and fucking shoelace snatcher, because pay for your own children's shit to get to school. I'm really sick of chavs whinging about people not feeding the children. Crying over milk. Why? I'm not crying over milk. I'm just responding to someone saying Thatcher the milk snatcher. I don't care about snatching of milk. Feed your own children. Remember that little fat Geordie kid who was fucking going to take him into care because he was like 8 years old and he weighed about fucking 12 stone. That was what a council estate kid looks like. If the mum and dad don't drink and smoke, they can afford so many pints of milk, the little bastards have to get rolled to school. You have to ditch the little butterball in a wheelbarrow and push him to fucking school. That's how much poverty the working class are in England. Michael, you were at school when the milk was cancelled. Tell me about it then, Michael. Michael, were your parents so crushingly poor that they couldn't afford milk for you? And they never once drank Best Bitter or smoked Super Kings? Because I don't believe it. I fucking don't believe it. The reason Guardian readers and BBC types and the likes of Cathy Newman, who are staggeringly privileged and ridiculously wealthy, the reason they think poor working class people can't afford milk is because they think they're thick. They think it's the casual bigotry of low expectations. They don't know what it's like to be working class. They don't know what it's like to live in a council house. They don't know what it's like to have to budget, like I did when I first left the military and I didn't have a job. and I'm too proud to sign on, so I didn't sign on. I just left, lived off my savings till I found a job. They don't know what it's like to budget, properly budget, and go, right, rent, council tax, internet, lecky, car insurance, mobile phone, write all that shit down and go, okay, my outgoings are £730 this month, and I've got fucking nout coming in, and I've got £8,000 in the bank, so that means I can live for approximately 7 months if I only spend this much. That type of budgeting, it's beyond them. And they think if you're working class, you're too irrevocably dense to be able to do basic mathematics and budget effectively. So they think the government has to literally buy the milk and plop it into your disgusting, greasy, grasping fingers, you foul-smelling peasants. That's what they think. The soft bigotry of low expectations. Me, I know if we give them money, they've got enough to look after themselves. I seriously would take more cash out of their hands, not give them more. I'd shave a tenner off fucking benefits, frankly, from living in council estates, from walking around council estates. They've always got better trainers than me. They've always got more cans than me in the recycling. They've always got more fag fucking boxes in the cardboard box. They're basically doing all right. If the parents care about them, they always have milk. If they don't have milk, it's because the parents don't give a fuck about them. They don't have milk and mum and dad have got the brand new Nike fucking shoes on. So don't blame Thatcher for snatching milk. Blame your shit parents. If you didn't have any milk when you were a kid, it's because your mum and dad fucking hate you. Are you going to blame Thatcher because you didn't get any good Christmas presents? Right? Because I reckon if you had no milk, you didn't have a very good Christmas, did you? Unlike me, who was working class, but my dad was a good lad. And he always budgeted effectively and got me a few good Christmas presents. So I enjoy Christmas. And I fucking love listening. When George Michael comes on in November, I go, get in, it's Christmas time again. Because my parents weren't arseholes. Sorry, what was that one I've missed? I get confused by some of the chatting here. Crabs and AIDS. I was trying to talk about Thatcher there, not crabs and AIDS. Never mind the milk. She caused riots, destroyed industry and left the poor to the mercy of the rich. And they still are. Okay, caused riots. She didn't cause riots. Riots were caused by Marxist, communist, rabble-rousers like Scargill who get people wound up. Do you think Boris Johnson's caused the Black Lives Matter riots? Do you think Trump caused the Black Lives Matter riots? Or was it the Marxists riling people up, stoking the coals? Bitterness, resentment, spite, envy, hatred. That's what causes riots. Marxists always cause riots. This is why I'm keep fucking whinging about it. Because it's people keep saying, oh, those who don't learn the history are doomed to repeat it. That's all anybody does nowadays, because people are fucking morons. Postmodernists don't want to learn about antiquity in the old days. They just want to learn about the bullshit theories of Foucault and Derrida and all of these relatively modern fucking dickheads who haven't got the brains they were born with. And that's why they use obscure language and needlessly long words, because it makes them sound clever to stupid people. Marxists cause riots. Communists cause riots. They stoke the coals of fear and resentment and hatred. That's what causes riots. That's why they're rioting now. The most privileged people that have ever existed in human history, and they're all out rioting because they've been convinced by Patrice Cullors and all these other dickheads, Robin DiAngelo. They've been convinced that they are being fucking abused, so they're getting violent and aggressive. I mean, it's ridiculous. You're going to blame the Prime Minister for this shit? They come and go Prime Ministers. This stuff is long in the making. It's not Boris Johnson's fault. There's a load of insane communists smashing the shit out of everything. It's the fault of rabble-rousing, neo-communist shitbags who brainwashed the generation. Poll tax. Hey, you're not going to get Matty to stick up for the fucking poll tax. You know, one thing that really irritates me is paying my council tax. I hate it. But guess what? We didn't have any money. How else are we going to pay for it? Miracle firemen out of our arseholes. We've got no money. We had no money. I mean, again, I hate paying my taxes. I really understand why rich people don't want to pay the taxes. I understand why Jimmy Carr was like, fuck this, because it's shit paying your taxes when you're like me and you're conscientious and you go to work always, ever since I got here, just to give you an example. like I keep talking about. I've never had any welfare. Ever since I got here, took a job offer. Early January. It's now April. I've never been late for work. Never. I haven't had a day off sick. I haven't took a day's holiday. I've booked a day's holiday, and for a week after next Monday, I'm going to go up north to see my mate. It's his birthday. So I've been here 4.5 months. No, never been late, never took a day off. This is what I do. It's what I always do. And I'm like Boxer out of Animal Farm. I just work, do what I'm told, get it done. I'm sick of paying my taxes to look after the sick, the lame and the lazy. The fucking no good bums. The people who I walk past in my street on the way to work. I don't live in a castle. I live in a shithole. In a 1-bedroom apartment, and I walk past the people, the fucker that lives beneath me apparently doesn't work. I've never seen him lift a bastard finger. He doesn't pick his dog shit up, and there's shite all over the street, and a lot of pissed students. You reckon I love Thatcher because my dad did? My dad doesn't vote, and I don't think he's voted for 30 years. My dad is just a man of bile. He's not really as into politics as me. I'm into politics, he isn't. But yeah, I will agree with you about most people get it off the parents. That's why the North East full of daft cunts who vote for Labour all the time. My hometown, Middlesbrough, they're all Labour. Yeah, Boxer was a mug. Yeah, I'm a mug. I've talked about this before. I'm a fucking mug. Because it's not in my brain to take advantage. I have the intellect to be able to take advantage. I could swing the lead, get on the fucking welfare, get on the tit of the state and milk it for every cent it's worth. You don't think I could do that? I deployed 5 times. You don't think I could easily wing it and go, oh, I've got PTSD, fucking hell. Every time I close my eyes, I have horrific nightmares. Oh, I just see the faces. Oh, my fucking God, I can't work. Give me ka-ching. I could do that. I am a fucking mug. But guess what? This mug sleeps like a baby because you never get away from your inward monitor. This mug sleeps like a fucking baby. Jordan Peterson talks about how you should act as if there is a God, even if you don't think there is one. I've always done that. Turns out I've done a lot of the things that he advocates, which is why I've had a good life and I've been successful in life. And I've never once needed a penny off the state. I've never once had to rely on charity. Because, yeah, cheers, good performance, that right? You're stitching yourself up. This is the point I try and make to my fellow northern scum. Because we're a poorly evolved primate and we think it's good to be lazy and sit on our arse, because that's what we are, we're an evolved chimp, all of our terrible habits, it's the inner chimp. You don't want to go on the treadmill. You want to sit on your fat arse under a tree. You don't want to eat celery, because when food was scarce, that's not going to keep you alive, is it? You want to eat pies, yeah? The modern day equivalent, monkeys will kill each other for honey. The modern day equivalent of acting like a chimp is sitting on a settee with the central heating on full blast because the government's paying for it and eating 12 pints of Ben and Jerry's. That is the 2021 version of content chimp. And you have to keep remembering and forcing yourself to go outside your comfort zone. Like I keep saying, your brain is like your biceps. It gets stronger when you work it. Going to a war zone, getting into a routine, doing hard things. It makes your brain get strong. It's good for it. Same with your biceps. You don't want to lift the weight. You're like, this is shit. I want to be lifting sausage rolls and pint glasses. Do it. Make yourself do it. And it makes you stronger. And the idea that you're doing yourself a favour by milking it is fucking nonsense. Challenge yourselves. You might not want to do it, but in the long run, it's good for you. We all love eating pies, Thomas. We all love eating pies. And that's another thing why I whinge about fat people. They're doing my head in. Whinging. Whinging about everything. Inside every fat person, there is a thin... inside every thin person, there's a fat person trying to get out. That's the corollary of what the famous phrase is, right? You know, I have got that right, haven't I? The famous phrase is, inside every fat person, there's a thin person trying to get out. Well, inside every bootneck, there's a fucking fat bloke trying to get in. Because I'm telling you, the reason I get wound up with these whiny, self-loathing fucking lefty arseholes is because there's a fat man in me, desperate to get out. Desperate. I'm not one of these people. My missus is lucky She's very, what would be the word? Fastidious. She doesn't eat a lot. She's quite picky. She exercises a lot. She's me. I have to force myself not to just eat sausage rolls from Greg's and have a cracking pair of threepenny bits. You know, I force myself to go to the gym every day. I force myself. I make myself, I'm like, I've got to be disciplined. I'm going to eat like a monk Monday to Thursday, and I'll have a few pints Friday, Saturday. It's like, I make myself do that. And it annoys me when fat people whinge, because it's like, do you think I don't like the taste of fucking ice cream? Like, I put it in my mouth and I'm like, that's not right. I'm proper. I have to try to be in good shape. I only have to look at a donut and my arse jiggles for a week. It is very, very easy for me to get fat. And I don't allow it to happen because I know it's going to make me feel rough. You just have to have some discipline. So that was a long tirade to a response about Boxer. But yeah, in some ways I am a mug. If you have that bitter, spiteful, I want to game the system mentality. Me, I think I'm quite happy being a mug. I think being a mug, paying my taxes, never skipping, never throwing a sickie, always doing what's required of me, being where I need to be on time, dressed correctly, carrying what I need. If you think that makes me a mug, I'm a fucking mug. I never chuck a sickie. People that are chucking sickies while I'm at work, they'll be sat at home going, hey, Matty, he's a fucking mug. You're entitled to think that. But I know that effort and integrity can't be bought. That's why I sleep like a baby. Like a fucking baby. I remember having an argument with some very annoying sort of hardcore Irish Republican woman when I was in a bar in Taunton. And she was a very aggressive Irish woman saying to me like, how do you do your job? Flying all around the world, imposing your will on people. I think I talked to Al about this once and I was like, imposing your will on people? Like, do you think we're living in the fucking 16th century? It's like, I don't fly around imposing my will on people. I do as I'm fucking told, and typically it's not that interesting. If we do a kinetic operation, it's intelligence-led, and the people that were shooting, stabbing or blowing up, 99 times out of 100 are, you know, killers, murderers, whatever. Yes, Muktuk, but I don't want to really get into critiquing Orwell today. I'm just saying there's numerous aspects to Boxer's character, isn't there? I don't think you're a mug if you work hard. If you're conscientious, you're not a mug. People who... Mick Philpott thinks every one of us that works 9 to 5 is a mug. He thinks that. I've heard these fucking people, I've told you in my local, fuckers who haven't worked for 15 years, they think anyone who works 9 to 5 is a mug. You're a fucking mug. Look at all those losers out there, those mugs, paying the taxes, going to work every day. Mugs. We're all mugs. If you're an idiot and you're short-sighted. You think people that work hard are mugs. We're not. We have a very thorough understanding of the human psyche. It's the same shit with, like, how Tony Blair and all the like turned everything into deconstructing. Well, it's sort of like critical race theory as well, isn't it? It's trying to deconstruct everything, trying to really get into the weeds on everything that you thought you knew about humanity and the way we operate, getting into it and saying, is that right though? Is that right? And it's like, I've always been agnostic/atheist, and as you know, I was a chippy atheist when I was younger. And I've really evolved on that, because like I said, as I've aged, I still don't believe in God, and I can't bring myself to believe in the mysticism aspects of it, but I do understand the need for this, because humans are not a purely rational animal ourselves. If you do this hyper rational approach to everything, it is in and of itself irrational, isn't it? Because humans are chimps, well, apes. If you're going to be, again, I'm sure there's some fucking lefty in the chat. Actually, yes, I know we're apes, we haven't got tails. But we aren't rational creatures. If you've ever gone for a piss in the middle of the night and then got back in bed at like 4 o'clock in the morning and gone, fuck, Remember when I did that embarrassing thing 23 years ago? Fucking hell, I can't believe I did that. And then you can't get back to sleep. It's happened to us all at one point, hasn't it? It's because we're not very rational. And I've gone from, chippy teenager atheist, annoying atheist 20-something, sort of agnostic, disillusioned 30-something, to where I'm at now, where it's like, you know what? Things are much more complicated than you think when you're young. I'm not a Christian, I don't think, but I have a Christian I have a healthy respect for Christianity. Zardoz, I agree. I often think that. I think I'd be happier if I could believe it, but I just can't. But that in and of itself is an interesting argument, isn't it? My point is, we're not hyper-rational. We aren't. So I don't agree with the people that are hyper-rational. Let's just hyper-rationalise everything. I'm like 80% rational, 20% mysticism, or whatever you want to call it. Because I'm aware of the fact that we aren't hyper-rational as a species. Davy Boy, all chimp sauce, please. Let's not get into the evolution debate, please. My heart's not in it because I've just been here bigging up the Christians. But we are. We just are. Fossil record, age of the earth. I don't want to go into it. Again, you can. I have a healthy respect for Christianity. Let's just leave it there. I'm a non-believing, agnostic Christian, product of a Christian nation. Let's just say that, shall we? Right, should we do a bit of news? Because I've been talking shit for half an hour. I was slagging Scotland off a little bit, and then we went off on a mad tangent. Union fears over call centres firms' home webcam plan. Fucking, see, they're just doing what we already know is happening, aren't we? Up in Scotland. Hawkeye the new. In Sturgeon, Scotland, you are not free people. I find it ironic that the one group of people that draw crosses on the face and shout freedom the most are definitely, objectively, the least free people in the United Kingdom. Like, the Scottish are shocking, aren't they? Fucking, the Nazi pug thing. The Nazi pug thing started in Scotland. Count Dankula, Scotland. All of this draconian, authoritarian, how dare you say things over the fucking dinner table that we don't like. It starts in Scotland. Really easily. I'm responding to Sad Wings there. Really easily. It is easy to sidetrack me. I'm not the best multitasker. Like I said, I haven't got tits. If you want to multitask, you need to be a woman. Scotland. Shocking. Always starts there. Jonathan Pye ripping the piss out the Scottish was fantastic, if anybody missed that. So let's read the story, shall we? It's already happening. It's already happening. They're just daft enough to tell everyone, aren't they? A union has condemned a call centre company's proposals to send webcams to staff working from home. Some workers at Teleperformance are expecting the technology to arrive in the post later this week. Oh no, it's coming. It's coming, boys. Internal memos seen by BBC Scotland claim the purpose of the devices is to create a highly collaborative and engaged workforce. Yeah. And that's why microphones are in your houses now. The only purpose of Alexa is to make your life better. That's all she's there for. She's not listening to you. She's not there to listen to you arguing with your missus, tape it all, and then suddenly get subpoenaed by the police. And the next thing you listen to you and your missus argue, and you're up for murder. Like, it's not for anything like that. Of course it's not. They wouldn't dream of turning the microphones on when you didn't want them to, even though they're on 365 days a year, 24 hours a fucking day. Of course they wouldn't do that. Teleperformance, which has offices in Glasgow and across the world, has been contacted for comment. Ironically, they don't want to talk. They want to listen to you fucking talk all day long, but they don't want to talk. They're like, no, we won't speak. We'll just listen to you speaking. Yeah? We'll just listen to you while you're masturbating. The Communication Workers Union was alerted to the story after it was first reported in The Guardian. So apparently some people on the left do care about freedom of speech still. They do care about privacy. While fresh concerns over the Big Brother tactic have also appeared in the Daily Record newspaper. Officials have warned it could mark the start of full-time visual monitoring of people working in the home. How fucking good's that? I love it. And so perfect for Nicola Sturgeon's Scotland, isn't it? Because she does act like the supreme leader, doesn't she, Sturgeon? Like, the whole shambles where they said they were redacting all that stuff on the Spectator website for privacy concerns. And you could just read it with your own two eyes and you're like, we're not doing this for people's privacy. We're doing this because Nicola Sturgeon's taking the piss and she doesn't want everyone to know about it. What do you mean privacy concerns? Didn't have anybody's name and address in there, did it? It was just, we're redacting anything that makes Nicola Sturgeon look like the despicable, authoritarian, poison fucking dwarf with a lopsided face that we fucking know she is. That's why. Horrific little creature she is. Officials have warned it could matter to start a full-time with. Oh, I've already done that. It says, there is no suggestion teleperformance is breaking the law, but the CWU says the idea of webcams in workers' homes is a cause for concern. No fucking shit. The idea of webcams is a cause for concern. Is that all? Is that all it is? Webcams in your fucking house owned by your employer. And it's just a cause for concern. No, your employer has got a camera in your fucking house. That's not just a cause for concern. If I come home from work, walk into the kitchen and there is a chav shitting on my kitchen floor with a flat screen TV on his shoulder, I haven't got cause for concern that I might be the victim of a burglary. It's happening right in front of me. That little bastard has got my TV and he's curling a foot of brown cable out on my kitchen floor. That's what they do in Middlesbrough. And I am convinced it's occurring. Not merely a cause for concern, it's happening right in front of my fucking face. There's a camera stuck up in my grid and it's got on the side of it my employer's name. That's not just a cause for concern. Call me a bluff old traditionalist. Craig Anderson, Regional Secretary in Scotland, said, from an ethical and moral perspective, it's an invasion of privacy. You don't even need that part, do you? You don't need that part. Just get rid of that. Just put, it's an invasion of privacy. Get rid of the first bit. There's a fucking camera in my house. A camera in my house owned by my employer. From an ethical and moral perspective. No. It's an invasion of privacy. That's it. Get rid of that. Keep that. That's all we need. It's a fucking invasion of privacy. Freedom! As long as I can keep my employer's camera in my house. No, that's not freedom. That's not freedom. The moose loose about this house. It's not the moose you want to be worried about, lads. It's the big fuck off camera with the branded logo on the side of it. Not the moose. Think about it. The call centre industry has been an industry where targeting and monitoring has been some of the highest in any sector, and I think companies are pushing a boundary that's too far. No fucking shit, Craig. No fucking shit, Craig. Although with his NHS specs on, Craig can probably see through walls. He's spying on his neighbours as well. He added that the company has claimed the technology will be used for workers who feel isolated and operate a clear desk. To operate a clear desk policy. So they're admitting the spying on you then. Oh, it's for people feeling isolated. Also, clear your fucking desk, right? They just admitted it right there. None of these BBC's fucking stories make any sense anymore. I heard that the copy editor's out. Like, apparently one of the first things to go when the last financial crisis hit was copy editors. They don't hire them anymore. None of these fucking stories make any sense. Why do they constantly deny it? And then you get down there and they say, oh yeah, we have cameras in your house for people who feel isolated and a clear desk policy. Well, then they're telling you they're monitoring you. They're telling you they're spying on you. We have a camera in your house that we own and it's to operate a clear desk policy. So what the fuck's the point in all the rest of it? All this shit. Well, you've just told us it's for a clear desk policy. Not only are you looking at me, you're looking at my desk. I'm more bothered about you watching me wanking in the kitchen or wherever your place of wanking is. It depends where. Most houses depends where the lock's on the door, unless you have a nice big house. In poor northern towns, it can be hard to pull yourself off. Occasionally, you have to go in the shed. Yeah, it's quite hard to have a memory wank while surrounded by rakes, garden implements. It's quite tough. Sympathise with the working classes here. But they've just told us they're already spying on us. So let's just hurry it along, shall we? And I'll go right to the bottom. A memo seen by BBC Scotland said the use of webcams will only be mandatory at times when the individual would have been natural observation in the office. Okay. When they arrive and when they leave the office. So, pretty much all the time then. One-to-one sessions, team meetings, when you come in, when you leave. So all the time. And do you take their word for it when they say, well, we're not going to turn it on outside of those hours? Honestly. But you can't fucking disconnect it. Don't do that. Keep your filthy peasant mitts off my nice shiny camera, you dirty working class slime. But we won't turn it on 20 hours a day. Of course we won't. Yeah. A member of staff spoke to the BBC anonymously and said they felt insulted. We already have Teams and group chats. We already have microphones. So they're asking, we claim. So the idea that they're claiming that we've asked for this is ridiculous. To me, they're not combating loneliness or mental health. It's more about monitoring and keeping people in check. Well, of course it fucking is. Welcome to Sturgeon, Scotland, boys and girls. 24/7 monitoring, courtesy of your dear leader. Why is your kitchen your place, AB? What the fuck? Wipe down. Wipe down, yeah? You can just fling yourself about willy-nilly, lube up, get naked, fling yourself about, wipe down. You don't want to, have you tried getting spunk out of curtains? It's fucking hard work. You proper have to give it some elbow grease. You don't want to have little crispy bits in the drailings or them sort of like wispy bits on the rug, you know, Persian rug. And you have to, when I was a kid, I had to comb the rug. My mum used to make me, she'd tell me to vacuum and then I'd have to comb the rug. And if you've got spunk in your rug ends, it's a fucking nightmare. The nightmare. It's a pansexual. That's an excellent joke. A pansexual. Yeah. I like wanking in the kitchen because I'm a pansexual. Arf, arf, arf. Well done. Just so everybody knows, KFC crisps are pretty nice. Nasty if it goes in your eye. I will bow to your superior knowledge on that one, Tracy. Being a straight man, it's very rare I've had to wipe jizz out of my eyeballs. I mean, once or twice, but not that common. Even in the Marines. Right. Fucking hell, it's 7:45. I think I'll bugger off. I haven't got that much news tonight, and I've just been talking shit because I got used to doing this on a Monday because I enjoy it. And then, you know, news, not that much really, is there? Unless you want me to talk about fucking Prince Philip again, but I've done that already, haven't I? They're launching a probe into Cameron. Well, I don't like that shiny-faced twat either. And Theresa Appeaser. Theresa May's memories of me. I have no interest in listening to Theresa. Theresa the Appeaser can fuck off. I mean, I'll tell you what I will say before I leave. Just scroll down this BBC homepage and you can see why we're completely disillusioned. Because look how poorly served we are by our leaders. Just look at the state of them. Starting at the top. Don't like her. Don't like him. Don't like him. Don't like her. Don't like her. He's alright. Him in the middle. Who else? MSPs. Don't like any of them fuckers. There's a dog. I quite like dogs. I'm an animal lover. Like them. But nobody who fucking leads us. Brown. Don't like him. Ed Davey. Don't like him. Shirley Williams. Don't like her. Don't like. Ben Coppers, partisan, politically motivated coppers, don't like them. Welsh MPs, don't like them. Holyrood, don't like any of them. Theresa May, definitely don't like her. See, I don't like any of them. Any of them. Jacob Rees-Mogg, I quite like him. That's about it. We are sorely served by our leaders, boys and girls. Let's leave on that. Let's finish there when I've done some political content and we don't have to go back to scraping the bottom of the barrel and talking about wiping spunk off the drailings or the curtains or any of the other furnishings in the house. Yeah? Let's leave it there. Thanks for watching. We'll do this again tomorrow and I'll try and find some more interesting news stories. All right? And I promise we will not be talking about baby gravy. That's a disgusting term, isn't it? We will not talk about baby gravy tomorrow. Man mayonnaise. Nothing to do with spunk. Right? Cheers. Thanks for watching. We'll do some real news tomorrow. Good night. See you all very soon. Take it easy.